yellow card once Armando Villarreal fishes it out.
Welcome to Instant Replay for MLS Matchday 13. I'm your host, Andrew Wiebe, and as always, we're taking a closer look at the most controversial refereeing decisions in Major League Soccer. Midweek soccer, Wednesday night, full slate. That means it gets a little weird or fun in our opinion because we're checking all these calls starting in Austin. Atlanta in town, Atlanta down 1-0 to the home team entering second half stoppage time. But the Five Stripes get in behind. Saba to Jamal Tiare, goal. Cue the celebrations for the away fans and the frustration for the Austin fans who flooded my mentions and said, this is offside. So let's go back and check it. Call on the field from Malik Badawi and his crew is goal, and no review is initiated by the VAR Soren Stojka, and here's what Stojka was looking at. First of all, Saba Lobojanic is onside on the ball that puts him in behind, so we're good there, and now we go to the crux of the play. Is Jamal Tiare ahead of the ball when Saba plays the deciding pass? If he is, that would make him offside. But it looks to me like Tiare is even with the ball, which in my eyes is about 6 inches or so from the 6-yard box line on contact from the pass. Look at Tiare. Remember that body parts that cannot score, talking about the arm, most of the shoulder, are not part of that offside line decision. When I look down the line, I've got him even or perhaps even a smidgen, a tiny one behind the ball. So I've got no issue at all with this being a good goal. And I would never expect Stojka, the VAR, to get involved. It is not clear and obvious that Tiare is offside, which it would have to be for Stojka to recommend a review. For me, Austin's got to look at their defending, not the referees on this one. San Diego, Colorado, it's handball time. 70th minute, Colorado is down looking for a goal. They're crossing, and Willie Camado of San Diego is blocking, but with the wrong body part, the one that gets you in trouble. I would listen to those who say that this is a harsh decision, that this is a natural position, but I would argue that Camado has all the time in the world to decide arm position here as he prepares for the cross. And look at the difference between his two arms. One is tucked, one is extended out and away from the body. Look at the bend in the elbow that puts it even further away from his body silhouette, and for me, makes him unnaturally bigger. In my opinion, handball and penalty is the right call as it was called on the field by Lorenzo Hernandez, the referee. And for those of you who disagree with me, hey, you can always argue ball don't lie because the penalty wasn't converted. San Diego won regardless. All right, back to a little offside action here. LAFC Seattle, 77th minute. LAFC have this goal disallowed. It's a beautiful goal and a one-shoot assist from Nathan Ordaz. That's pretty cool. Only the flag goes up from the AR and it's ruled off by Pierre-Luc Lazier, the referee. That's a tough one here for me. When I'm looking at it on freeze frame, it looks onside just from my first look, and I'm looking at Nuhu at the bottom of your screen as the last Seattle defender. But the other side of this is I'm looking at a flawed angle with distortion and angles that are hard to interpret, while the AR is all over this one in terms of positioning, and he's the one person on the field that has a perfect line straight down. And here's the deal. ARs are told that they should be absolutely certain that it is offside to raise the flag in these situations. Now, absolutely certain doesn't mean by a foot, it means by any margin. So the AR is saying, I'm absolutely certain. And given we don't have a better angle than the AR, I'm inclined to shrug and say, call it like you see it. Though I would be curious to see the line drawn just for my own curiosity. In the end, it is 1 goal and a 4-0 win for LAFC, so the stakes are pretty low here, though I would have loved to see that one-shoe assist go down in the history books. Things are, well, not going so well for the Galaxy, and that was the case once again in second half stoppage time, about 95 minutes in, when the Union get their third goal, the winner. The Galaxy were frustrated about the play leading up to the corner kick that leads to the goal because they thought there were two issues here. The first one is that the throw-in is not taken where the ball went out, and I agree with them. It's like 5 or so yards away. And then they're frustrated because Maya Yoshida believes that he was fouled on this play. So let's take a closer look at the foul in particular. There is a world where Mikel Ua gets called for a foul on Yoshida, but it's really not that much contact in my opinion, and you can argue it's pretty darn close to shoulder. I'm personally fine with no call here. From the outside, Yoshida looks like he's trying to buy it a little bit. He's jumping and throwing his arms out and letting his feet go, and I get why he would try to do that. They're trying to close out a game. But in the end, these little minor judgment calls go both ways. It's how you react that matters most, which leads us to Again, a corner kick, not the actual game winner, so LA can be mad about it, but they can also defend the corner, which they do, and they could also clear the ball, which Tucker Lepley doesn't do at all, and then they can also defend the second phase and prevent a cross, which they don't do, and they could also mark Ty Baribo at the back post, and you get the picture. It's the story of the Galaxy season so far, and it isn't particularly pretty. El Tráfico this weekend, Sunday Night Soccer. See you there. It's a big one for both sides. And we finished with this play in DC, New York City in town, 34th minute. Big thanks to Stephen Curtis on X for the heads up. We would have missed it otherwise. Boris Enow is coming in, and he's coming in hot on Hannes Wolf. This is a yellow card on the field from Armando Villarreal, and Enow is very, very fortunate that Villarreal calls this a yellow. I would not argue against a red card for a single second here. Late lunge, studs into the shin ankle of a plant foot. It is hard not to argue that's not endangering the safety of an opponent. Now, in terms of serious foul play, I'm not so sure it's as cut and dry in terms of excessive force. Similar to the Jaden Nelson play from the weekend. But remember, it's excessive force and/or endangering the safety. It doesn't have to be both. It's a tough one in the end for VAR Tim Ford. Is it clear and obviously a red card? Like, would 99 out of 100 people watching this show agree that Enow should be sent off? Maybe not. So I get playing this one on the safe side from a video review perspective, but I would have no issue personally had the play been sent down and a red card given. It is a truly awful challenge. In the end, thank your lucky stars, Boris Enow. And thank you to everyone who dropped in my mentions to send a nomination for this week. It is truly, truly helpful. Please, put a minute on it. Thank you to those of you who do. And thank you to my editor, Aldo Medina, and my producer, Rich Hernandez. I'm Andrew Wiebe. We'll see you next time in Matchday 14.